Our daughter, her name was Shannon Marie, and she was with us for a very short time. She was about 18 months old when we lost her. Shannon had run out into the street from behind a parked car and was hit by a car. She was just the joy of our lives. We felt so lucky to have her. Dinah and I had tried for a long time to get pregnant. When we finally had Shannon, we thought, we were so blessed and so lucky. You don't expect to lose your children. You don't expect to lose an 18-month-old full of energy. She was the most vivacious little girl. It felt like the whole ground had been pulled out from underneath me.
Dee had been an employee of the college for 17 years, and we learned that she had been murdered in a domestic violence incident. She was a very loving mother. We knew both of her children. She was known by everybody, well-liked, well-loved, well-respected. People all reacted in different ways. There were people who were extremely angry. There were people who were numb. They were sort of like zombies. You could see it in their eyes. They were like kind of not there because they were thinking so much about all that occurred and what a shock it was. But beyond the reaction of someone is dead was the outrage and the senselessness and all the feeling that goes along with the fact that this person was murdered.
Almost 11 years ago, when my son was 10 and my daughter was 13, my husband committed suicide. He had suffered from depression for quite a while. He was in a dark hole and he couldn't get out. And so one night he shot himself. I felt devastation and tremendous guilt, tremendous shame. The children were afraid, they were angry, they were confused, but I was very determined that this would not destroy our family.
CARA is basically a peer support organization, which means that we provide people to walk side by side with someone who's going through a death or dying process, and also after the death during their grief. And peer means that these are people who've been through that in their lives, and they're really wanting to give back to others now that they've come through their own grief. We have over 80 volunteers who provide peer support. They're able to understand the full range of things that people go through and to sit and listen and be of support for all of that.
My counselor, when I met her, I had an incredible hope. And this is the great thing about CARA is you're talking to people that have gone through similar experiences. She'd lost her husband and then 6 months later lost her 14-year-old son. So I thought, here's this gal who's got a gleam in her eye. She's somehow figured out how to live with this incredible, tragic events in her life. She somehow did it. At that moment, I had hope. And that's the key. If you have hope, you can do a lot of things.
At CARA, here was a group of women who had the exact same story that I had. We would meet and get the support that we needed to raise our children. It's hard enough for the parent, but then to turn around and parent your children is very difficult. I used to tell my children, I am the wall in your life over which you will not go. In order to be that wall, I needed someone to hold me up.
Not only does CARA help the parents, but CARA helps the whole family. So kids have a different experience of grief than their parents. They have to express their grief through play, through art, and through seeing other kids are going through the same thing. Teens need to be able to process all of it through what's happening in their daily lives with their peers, with other teens that get it. So CARA helps the whole family by helping each member go through grief in their own way.
CARA came out to the college and talked about grief, talked about loss, talked about how whatever we were experiencing was normal. And each of us got to say something about the person who died and how we were feeling. And that was a major eye-opener because some of the quietest people screamed. Their grief was so strong, and that's how they let it out. And there were people who were very, very quiet. So Cara gave us permission as a group to experience without fear or without judgment all that grief and a death will bring out in our lives.
An event like this changes your life forever, and you can choose to make it a negative change or a positive change. And having the guidance from Cara, we made it a positive change. And we made this something that has given us perspective that's unique. I feel in some ways really lucky because I know what it's like to have lost something. We appreciate things and we don't take a single day for granted.
For probably the first year, I couldn't speak about this to anyone outside my family except to Cara, because I was afraid if I would tell someone that they would think really badly of me. But through Cara, I became more courageous. I could speak the unspeakable to people. And the healing that goes on within the human spirit when you can share what's kind of unshareable is magic.
What I'd like people to know about Cara is that this is a place they can come during one of life's darkest moments, and they will be listened to, they will be heard, they will be supported, and there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. They'll be able to come out of this process with a renewed sense of hope and a way to go forward with their lives.
It's been 2 years since we suffered this loss, and our staff is doing well. We've done a number of things to celebrate Dee's life. We planted a tree in her memory to watch it grow. We dedicated a bench on campus in her memory as a place to sit and reflect on life, friendships. Cara helped us and the staff at Mission College get through this process, this grieving process. And now the healing is happening, the healing is ongoing, and I thank Cara for that.
I am so thankful that Cara was in my community. Through the healing process, I know that I have a future that is actually joyful. Cara saved my family's life. I was given the strength to carry on and be the parent for my children, and we have survived and we've thrived.
I'm very thankful for Cara. They've given us, I think, everything that we have today. We have 2 beautiful children. They have an angel for a sister who watches over them. There's so many things that have improved in our lives. I can't even begin to tell you how lucky I feel to have what I have. This whole situation has turned around 180 degrees, and I still miss my daughter, and I would give anything to have her back for even a day. But I also thank her for what she gave us, because she gave us a beautiful perspective, and we appreciate every moment.